Technology. That's what it's all about today. I'm going to show you a slide or two here where some of you who are in your 20s or 30s might not recognize some of the elements in these slides. The rest of us will recognize them and probably remember them fondly. You know, technology has come a long way from the days of the pencil and the simple calculator. Even a mechanical pencil these days is almost not thought of. You need a mouse. You need some type of touch screen. When it comes to communicating via the written word, I still remember as a small child seeing an old Underwood typewriter that my mom had around the house. And when they came up to an IBM Selectric, I just missed jamming all those keys together and making that mess of all those mechanical elements that were coming up. And whoever thought that in our lifetime, we'd live in the day of Star Trek. With smartphones, with tablets, with computers being as they are today, they're so far advanced from anything that we could have possibly imagined. I was reading an article the other day that an iPhone 6 has approximately 1,000 times the computing speed, get this, of the computers that landed the men on the moon back on the Apollo program. It's almost unbelievable to think of it. And a typical flash drive today is about 150 times as large as the memories that they used on the computers then. Tablets, smartphones, computers have come a long way in helping us to communicate as far as technology is concerned, but they not only perform the function, that they look great now. They're very sophisticated pieces of equipment. And technology's gone even further in a different realm, the daily commuter realm. Probably in the early days of the electric car or hybrids, we might have been a little hesitant to climb into a Honda hybrid, a Honda Insight, or even a Toyota Prius. But the advancement that's been made in this realm in and day out transportation is phenomenal. The advancement in it, but also the appearance of the product. The technology has improved, but the looks of the product have improved as well. In fact, today, when you talk about electric cars, some of the most sophisticated machines on the road, from Tesla and Porsche and even Chevrolet, are among the finest looking vehicles that are being turned out. And combining that technology with the aesthetics is where the game is played now. It's not just a matter of being able to do it, you have to look good while you're doing it. That's the effort that we've put into the U.S. architectural family of products over the last few years. Bringing out products that can take advantage of the technology, the emerging technology of LED, blending them into some of the products that we had existing, creating totally new ones that could help us transition from the days of HID to LED into where we are today. And certainly with the look of the innovation of the products we've come out with over that period of time, unlike any other company out there. We didn't just produce an LED product, we produced an LED product that looks good getting there. The most notable of all of those products in the last 2 years has been the development and the presentation of the Razar LED product line. It's kind of hard to believe, but beginning in July of 2014, that's when we first introduced the Razar LED as far as the Razar, the RZRM and the RZR series are concerned. It's when those products were introduced. And some people thought at that time that's where we were, not realizing where we were going down the road in the marriage of not just the technology, but also the aesthetic of the products. Over the last 2 years, the Razar LED product line has not only grown into 3 sidearm mount fixtures, the RZRM, the RZR, and the RZRG, but it's also developed into a full line of wall mount products with the 3 various sizes here, retaining all of the same optical control features that the pole-mounted products have, but adding them into a fixture that looks right when mounted to the wall, and also tying into that the Razar Bollard and the single and twin-headed units. Again, the big idea here is, the main idea here is that the marriage of the technology to the design becomes all important when we're trying to promote this product in the marketplace. Up until now, most of the large manufacturers, the conglomerates, and the people who were early adopters merely presented the technology side of it. But when we marry the technology with performance and with aesthetics, you get what makes U.S. architectural unique in the marketplace. Just by way of a quick review and reminder, when we take a look at a few elements within the Razar family of products, the Razar LED Generation, the small Razar, the RZRM, goes from 24 LEDs to 48, and from 350 milliamps up to 1050 milliamps of drive current, which gives us a range of anywhere from a low of 50 to a high of 250 watts of an equivalent HID product, and this is one fixture family. It's a companion for the wall mount, approximately the equivalent of a 50 watt to 125 watt as far as the wall mount is concerned. The RZR and the WM2 versions handle the RZR, the pole mounted, from roughly 70 to 100 watt equivalent up to 450 to 575 watt. Goes from 40 LED to 80, from 350 milliamp to 1050 milliamp. In the wall mount version, the equivalent of a 7100 up to 200 watt in a wall mount. And in the largest iterations in both applications, for the Razar G and also the WM3, we can go all the way up to a 1000 watt HID equivalent with the Razar G, or a 400 watt equivalent in the WM3. Just at this point alone, when you look at the marriage of the technology, the performance, and the aesthetics of it, we're already beginning to see, you're already beginning to see a separation between U.S. architectural and all other comers and companies out there. Optically, we go even further than that with some things that are unique to this company, and it's the approach that we've taken in everything that we're doing when it comes to LED now. We have field replaceable optics. Field replaceable optics that are also field rotatable. You don't need to have the factory set the rotation of the optics. You can do it in the field. We have 10 different optical patterns out of the PLED system in the Razar, and in those 10 patterns, not only can they be rotated within a fixture, so that you can leave the fixture orientation in one location and rotate the patterns in a different one, but if you're using only one fixture head, because of using individual panels, you can make one fixture head perform like two fixture heads by rotating the panels in opposite directions or angular directions, so that you can make one fixture head perform like a back-to-back type 3 or a 90-degree mount side fixture. All of this type of flexibility is built inherently into the Razar package, something that no other manufacturer offers you. Plus, we have house side shielding, and we'll install at the factory in its individual LED house side shielding, the only proper way to do that gives us cutoffs of less than a half a mounting height behind the fixture for a 1/10 of a foot candle in the asymmetric distributions. Performance-wise, it's as good or better than anything else on the market today. Flexibility-wise, nothing else has this type of flexibility to it. And it's not just a matter of it being something where we're looking at LEDs and saying we're just going to take advantage of the LED technology itself. We've put a lot of technology into the build of the product to maximize LED performance. Thermal control is one of the most critical elements in the design of LED products. And there's huge benefits from running LEDs cooler. For example, they maintain their light level output longer when they run cooler. And that's an emphasis that we try very hard to carry out at U.S. Architectural. If you take a look at the way LEDs perform as far as getting the color temperatures to them, it's done with phosphors. And the cooler the phosphors run, the longer they hold their color temperature, so they keep that stability. Plus, LEDs operate more efficiently at lower junction temperatures and lower drive currents, which is the reason that we don't just focus on offering you a 700 and 1050 milliamp unit. If we did that, then that's all we would have. But we offer you a full range from 350 milliamps to 1050 milliamps to take advantage of the efficiencies that lower drive currents and lower operating temperatures offer you. And the way we get there is by using materials that are far more conductive to heat. For example, the A356 alloy that we use in the manufacture of all of our castings is more than 30% more conductive to heat than the typical die-cast alloys, the A360, that are used by all the other manufacturers. And then aside from the material, we take and mill those housings to give you as much flatness as possible for as much conductivity. We'd like to say perfect flatness and perfect conductivity between the optical assemblies, the optical panels and the optical assembly, thereby pulling the heat away from the components and getting maximum performance out of the luminaire. Now that's all on the technical side. That's all on the technology side. That's all on the performance side. But we're not stopping there. The application of the product, the look of the product is also important. And this is where we step into the next element of what we're doing within the Razor product family. We're competent in how to build it, but you also have to have as many variations on the product as possible. So by means of this presentation, we're going to be offering you something else that's new within the product family. First of all, you have a Razor mast arm fitter that applies to the RZR model, which requires a dedicated electrical compartment. It's not just a bolt-on device, it's a whole new piece to retain the look of the product while providing you with all of the mechanical features that you need. Internally, the mast arm fitter has stepped level adjustments at 0, 1.5, and 3 degrees, and it's positive stepped adjustments. It's not done by set screws that can maybe get you there, but it's a specific set adjustments. Plus, we're using a dual clamp arrangement as far as holding the fixture to the horizontal tenon. Again, not using set screws that can work loose over time or cause the fixture to droop over time. Tremendous advantage there. But we didn't do this webinar just to show you a mast arm fitter. It's a great addition to the RZR model. There's more. There's more, and now here comes what you were waiting for. Now, when we sent you out the invitation, we let you see what we would be presenting. The new Razor post tops, a whole new post top, a whole new classification of product. This is the image we sent you, and we've had a lot of people that have called up and said, boy, that's a good-looking fixture. The king has new clothes. Boy, are you sure that's going to sell? That's interesting. What I want you to do is stare at that fixture. I want you to look at it. And as you look at it, tell me what you see, because something interesting happens to it as you concentrate on the appearance of that fixture. Yeah, it's 2 fixtures in one. I only had one picture to be able to show you, so I put the 2 fixtures together in one picture, and everybody thought I was crazy. We're introducing now 2 new Razor post-top luminaires, the twin-arm version that you see here on the left, the single-arm version you see on the right. Naturally, they'll be named the PT2 and the PT1. Taking a look at the fixture for a moment, let's not go into some of the other mechanical elements or some of the other features, but let's just gaze on the aesthetics of the product. As we talked about, the marriage of technology, performance, and most importantly, design is critical today in today's market. We're leading on that edge. Think about the lines you represent now from any of your conglomerates. Go back to Hubble for you Hubble agents, or Eaton for you Eaton agents, or Acuity for you Acuity agents, or even Cree or you independents. How many other manufacturers have the breadth of offerings in their product families that you're seeing here now, and the aesthetics to tie into it? Now, the PT1 version is interesting. The fixture itself, the fixture head, looks a lot like the Razor RZR models or any of the other sizes. This is based on the RZR model itself. The real key to it is in the arm that holds it up there. Not only being a single arm, but the design of the arm. It's rather interesting. If you look at the bottom of the arm, where it mounts to the tenon slip fitter, it's a triangle with the apex facing inward, the base facing outward. When you transition to the top of the arm, the apex is facing outward and the base is facing inward. So it lends to a very interesting approach as far as the look is concerned. The PT2, completely different in its appearance. Something that's a little more traditional, if you will, for a contemporary fixture, using a twin-arm assembly to hold the optical assembly up high away from the rest of the luminaire. All of the electronics, except for the LEDs themselves, are down in the hub. The driver's down in the hub, or any of the other control devices are down there. So we get the heat away from those components and, again, get maximum performance out of the LEDs. Again, retaining all of the rotatability and replaceability in the fixtures that we've seen up till now that comprise the Razor family. The Razor post tops, the PT1, again, are based on the RZR model. So they're a 40 or 80 LED configuration running from 350 milliamp to 700 milliamp in your selections. That gives you the equivalent HID output in these luminaires of anything from around 70, 100 watts up to 400 watts. And there's 10 optical distributions available for both models, field rotatable or field replaceable. And again, no difference between either the PT1 or the PT2 with all of these common features or elements that are available there. The new catalog that will be coming out with the Razor is based on the old catalog, but it adds a number of visual elements showing that there are new features that are in here. We've added some pages to it. The front cover, as you can see, has a tremendous addition to it in the two post tops and also the mast arm fitter. This is alone will garner tons of attention out in the field as you present this, either doing it online or doing it with a hard catalog. Internally, when you see the family of products in the entire array, you begin to appreciate just how much there is to the Razar LED generation overall. And again, I want to reiterate that when it comes to the products that you have available to you from any of your other companies, especially from the conglomerates, the larger companies, they always focus on what they figure will be the highest volume elements, not looking at all the other items that comprise an entire family for your specifier to do an entire job with. When you look at what we do as a dedicated outdoor lighting manufacturer, you get all of the tools necessary with any of the product families, particularly when you're looking at the Razar product family of products. The center section in the new catalog gives you what's an outstanding representation of the sidearm mount and both post-top mounts, where you can see the real connection between the families and the orbits describing the various elements and features of the product family. And there's a luminaire style and size for every pole-mounted application when you go through the entire Razar family, from 10 to 12 foot with the mini Razar, even the post tops, some of the post tops will work there, to the RZR models, all the way up to the Razar G. In its largest iterations, we can cover every mounting height from 10 feet up to 45 feet, even 50 feet if that's what you so desire because of the illumination possibilities. And again, bear in mind, we're talking about the marriage of technology, performance, aesthetics, all within one product family here. When we say that, maybe it does good to forget about that catalog cover with the copy on it and just take a measure of the overall look of the product line. You don't see this or get this type of offering from any other company out there, any other manufacturer out there other than U.S. Architectural Lighting. So taking a look at this whole presentation now with the Razar LED generation, starting with the mast arm fitter that applies to the RZR model, which hasn't really changed much in the way much of the optics at all. But then you take a look at the whole breadth of family, and the Razar LED generation now offers you 3 sizes of sidearm mount, 1 mast arm mount fixture, with HID equivalents ranging from 50 watts to 1,000 watts, 10 distributions that are all field replaceable and rotatable, and the mast arm fitter is one that's commonly the mechanics of it are common to those who you work in the roadway field there, very similar to what's seen in a lot of Cobra head style mechanics, not using just a slip fitter with screws on it or set screws on it, but using the positive locking elements that the industry has desired or used for all these years. 3 sizes of wall mount luminaires with an HID equivalent ranging from 50 watt to 400 watts, 7 distributions, all the asymmetric distributions, all field rotatable and field replaceable. In the bollard, there's a single and twin head bollard, HID equivalent there from 50 to 100 watts in cutoff configuration. Bear in mind that most bollards that use a vertical lamp element or a vertical light source don't throw a lot of light at grade, and so you need higher wattages to get your light level up. That's not the case here with the Razar bollard. Razar bollards have a tremendous amount of light because they do the HID equivalent of 50 to 100 watt, but you have 7 different distributions that you can put in here as well. Interestingly, particularly when you go to the twin head unit, you have the capability of perhaps putting a type 2 on one side and a type 4 on the other, trimming the bollard out for the specific application that you're working with. Again, lending to the fact that the Razar LED generation of products aesthetically and performance-wise are unlike anything else on the market today. And now, especially with the single and the twin arm post-top mounts, covering an HID equivalent of 50 to 400 watts, again, 10 different distributions, all field replaceable and field rotatable. Keep wanting to put those 2 words together, replaceable and rotatable. But all of the same features that we see in the rest of the Razar family. What other product or product family or product line or company do you have in your repertoire of lines that even comes close to offering this type of flexibility and this type of sense as far as technology, performance, and aesthetics?